Guess what, you guys? We're going back to Costa Rica for the Good Vibe Retreat.
You have 6 months to come and have the most amazing trip of your life. We're so excited to bring our tribe back to Costa Rica on February 1st through the 6th or February 8th through the 13th. And guess what? Right now, for a limited time, we have a $250 early bird deposit special. $250 secures your spot to Costa Rica. And when I tell you, this trip is transformational, not only just because you're going to meet a group of like-minded women, you're going to get fed amazing food, you're going to be sitting next to luscious, beautiful beaches. You walk away feeling like a new bitch.
Take a break. You've been thinking about it. This is your sign. Invest in yourself. Leave those kids behind. Leave that husband behind. And let us take care of you. You have nothing to even worry about. Just book your trip, book your ticket, and pull up.
Go check out our 5-star ratings. Click the link in this episode description. Go back and listen to some of our testimonials that we've shared over the last few months on the podcast. And we'll see you in the jungle.
Welcome back to Good Moms, Bad Choices.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy hump day, y'all. How you doing?
I feel good. I drink coffee, so I feel energized.
Oh, is that what this burst of energy is coming from?
I haven't had coffee in 2 days, and this is what happens.
How come we haven't had coffee in 2 days? We were in like the coffee land.
I don't know. I just didn't get to it.
Oh, okay. I didn't have the coffee that I wanted, which was really irritating. But we just got back from Miami like moments ago. I literally slept for like fucking 12 hours.
We needed it.
Bad. I know we say this every time we go out of town, but I'm not a party girl anymore. I don't know. I think I've graduated out of it. It takes a lot out of me. We went to Miami for like a week, and it was our friend Cashley's birthday. We rented a house and a yacht, and we did all the Miami things. We wore like nighttime sunglasses every day. Which is obviously the definition of Miami. Little outfits, sparkles, and nighttime sunglasses.
It's true. But I think I'm going to start being like Amber Rose and wear sunglasses at night all the time.
Me too.
I think it's the thing now.
They have to be like a little translucent because I don't like to feel like I can't see good because I already can't see good.
Sometimes you got to commit because I wear the black Versace's at night and it's a look and I have to commit to it and be blind.
My eyesight's not high enough for me to additionally put on dark glasses. They have to be like light or else I'll be bumping into things. Plus drinking, hell no. They'll be like, where's that blind mice going? Where's my friends at?
Have you seen these people? Can't take off my glasses.
I'm committed to looking like Amber today. We went to the, what was the
Afro Nation.
We went to the Afro Nation concert. Went to the beach.
Dinners.
We went to dinners. We went to Kiki on the river. We went to fucking the strip club. One thing we're going to do is we're going to do the things. And, we had a book signing. How the fuck do we do all this? Every time we go somewhere, we're like, we're going to relax. We're going to be so relaxful. And then we do 4,000 things. But we had a really beautiful book signing in Miami. We have a really bomb-ass tribe in Miami that I didn't realize that we had. Shout out to Nikki, who took care of us and hosted us and supported us so much in making this happen. She was like, I'm here to support you. We're doing this. And I'm really grateful that you made us do this. And not made us, but encouraged us to have a book signing in Miami and brought out your community. Work It Moms Miami is the shit. And just shout out to all the women and moms that came out to support us, and Mom Juice for supplying the wines because everybody knows moms love wine.
I love the name Mom Juice. It's like the perfect wine. If I was going to have a wine company, it would be called Mom Juice or like Mama Juice. Or
I can make some calls and see what we can do.
Good bad juice. Good bad wine. Good wine.
That is good wine.
You know, good is everything in our thing.
So, I mean, it was just lovely.
It was lovely. And thank you, Nikki. You did the thing. And make sure you guys go follow Thank You, Nikki. NICY. She's a doula. And
is that her Instagram? Thank You, Nikki?
Thank You, Nikki.
So appropriate.
Yeah. She's a black doula in Miami. And like, if I have a doula and I lived in Miami, Nikki would be my doula. Literally. Like, she's the most compassionate, Like, she just fucking cares so
I don't even
much.
care that she's in Miami. When I get pregnant, her ass is coming to LA.
Okay, well, then we gotta get pregnant at the same time so that we can just kinda,
make
like,
it
make it work at one point, you know?
So we can just like pay for one flight.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. We're gonna share a doula and a midwife. We're gonna hold hands and push. That would be beautiful. Did you enjoy your trip, my love?
I did enjoy my trip. I had a great time. I got to hang out with my friends. I realized how lucky I am. Always realize how lucky I am, but I have such an amazing group of friends and tribe, and that we just are all fucking nuts. But we accept our nutsness, and we love each other, and we'd always, no matter how annoying we are to one another, and we bicker and shit, we just get over it. We get past it, and that's that.
That's true. We have a very unique group of friends, as you can imagine. We're a unique couple, and so the friends that embrace us are legitimately crazy, and it's wonderful. And this weekend we had like two new people in the group because some people got some new bows.
Bows?
Bows, like
What?
You never heard bow?
Oh, Beau.
Yeah.
Wow. That's you're taking it. You're a real author these days, my love.
It's not that
Sounds very authory.
Anyway,
not bays, not to be confused with bays or booze, but bows.
They're the same. They're all the same. Synonyms. And I was really concerned if they're going to be able to, just slide in and not be alarmed at, the amount of titties, pussy popping, and, twerking that happened, and everyone seemed fine, so it was really nice. Oh, also, side note, I got to meet my internet crush, Derek Truegrace.
It's not his name. I looked on his Instagram, but it's not Derek.
He changed it?
It's Derek Grace 2.
Whatever.
Was it 2 before?
I think so,
okay.
Or unless I've been saying it wrong. But everybody knows.
Did get to meet him, and the joy and the excitement. First of all, I was like brain dead, and I was watching Jamila, and she's like, "So, tell me." I was like, "Bitch, you know your nigga's sitting right here, right?"
I knew. I have some things to ask.
She was so excited. She was like a kid in a candy store. I was like,
he was
wow.
barely talking. I was like,
he was. I mean, he was. His woman was doing a lot of talking, but I was just like, watching you was like, I was like, wow, I'm so glad that you're here because I'm tired. I don't have a lot to say.
Well, the thing is, we were supposed to do a podcast with him. The bitch ass studio fucked up our slot, and so I was like, we have to make this happen. First of all, he drove 4 hours to come see us to do the podcast that we didn't get to fucking do, and so I was like, we're going to breakfast, and then I text Erica like, get your fucking ass up because it's gonna be weird if I just go. Come with me. Bring your nigga. We're going. And we did, and he was very nice. Very nice man. And we're already talking about we're gonna go out there and we're gonna make a vlog.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you sidebarring with him?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're vlogging. We're going to do a vlog, and we're going to shoot guns and take mushrooms and do fun things.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. On the compound.
On the compound. So, yeah, we had a really fun-filled week in Miami and did a lot of things. And, yeah, I'm grateful. We did an interview with someone from the Stacks podcast, and she said, you guys live juicy lives. And you know what? No word has ever been truer. We live some juicy fucking lives. We do a lot of fun shit, and I'm very grateful. I'm an adventurer, so my life is panning out exactly how I wished it to be.
Perfect.
Anyway, more importantly, we're back in LA, and we have a very, very, very special guest with us.
Oh, I'm going to do the honors?
Do the honors, my love.
You guys, we have none other than health coach, mompreneur. Momapreneur. Wow, I'm fucking this up already. Mamapreneur. I would say like motivational speaker, even though I don't know how much motivational speaking you do, but when I read your posts, I feel motivated as fuck. Massy, Arias.
Oh, thank you, ladies, for having me.
Thank you. Welcome to the Good Mom Show.
I'm so excited to be here.
We're really happy to have you.
Really cool, dope, laid back, real ladies.
Yeah, we just be chilling.
We're like 10 minutes away, so we'll be friends.
Yay.
Yeah, that's basically why we bring everybody here, is to like come on our show, aka be our friend.
And be our friend, and we'll enhance your life, you enhance mine. I'm like, I was looking at your page, I was like, I need those. How do I get those abs? I'm like, wait, she doesn't diet? She eats regular? Wait. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. And like, your body is just incredible. Like what you've been able to like really do and focus in, and just like, it's so motivational. I'm like, fuck. Oh, I'm getting it. I was literally looking at your shit on the plane right now, and I was like, I can't wait to get home and go to the gym.
Yes. And I don't even do it
I'm
for
gonna,
the body.
I'm going to join the program. I know. You know what? I don't really. It's a byproduct. The body's a byproduct because even for me, exercise is is mental health for me. Yeah. When I don't do it, I realize I start becoming a fucked up person. Yeah. Really,
That's my mom juice.
Do you drink or you don't drink?
I barely.
See, I knew.
Because
I know
what's
this
the point
is the
of drinking? We were just
secret.
having this conversation. Like, what's the point of drinking? If I'm gonna have one drink, like, what does that do? No, I'm gonna have 2 or 3, and then the next day you just feel like shit.
Well, maybe two won't make you feel like shit, right?
What do you drink? Okay, when you drink, what do you drink?
I don't do wine. Yeah. Wine just makes me feel
sleepy.
Negative and sleepy, and I just don't want to do anything.
Not negative.
So if I do anything, it'll be vodka on the rocks. No sugar.
Yeah, straight to it.
Yeah.
Well, see, even in Miami, we went out. I think. Oh yeah, when we left you last night, we went to this. We ended up finding this amazing Afro beats party.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was amazing. And we had these drinks, and they kept bringing these. Like I kept ordering drinks with pineapple juice and all these. Then there was like a slushy drink, and it was delicious. It was like lychee. But as I'm drinking it, I was like, I can't drink any more fucking juice. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, I can't.
And it tastes like juice.
I can't take it anymore. I was like, I'm not even really a big juice drinker. I find that men drink a lot of juice. Do you notice that? All the men in my life love juice.
Yeah. Especially black men.
They love juice.
They love juice.
And so I'm more of like, like little soda. But for some reason, this trip, I was just going all tropicals. And I feel it. I'm like, I'm in the morning, my head hurts. I'm like, the hangover's worse.
There you go.
But also, I don't really love alcohol without some form of flavor.
I try to do a little splash. Like, give me a splash of pineapple. Just a splash. Not too much. So I can just have a little bit. But I agree. It's not.
From time to time, if it's the occasion and the vibe is there, my friends are there, I'm usually the sober one in the room. Mm-hmm.
Designated driver.
I'll have.
We will be friends.
Yeah.
Not designated.
I have all this energy in me, and when you get to know me, I don't really need, often when I ask people, why do you drink? It's just to loosen up. I'm loose. I'm good. I'm loose. I'm myself. You're either going to like me or you're going to hate me. Usually people like me. So, yeah, I tend not to, drink too much, and then I can't do the other things.
I feel you.
The business, the daughter, everything just has to be taken care of.
In line, no. And me and Mila had an episode, we were talking about J-Lo and Sierra. Remember, we were like,
they don't drink, and that's why they're beautiful.
I was like, how are we ever going to look like J-Lo and Sierra? We've got to stop drinking.
That stuff ages you.
I know.
It ages you.
Well, I go through phases. So I'm a yo-yoer, which is why, like, reading your thing, I was like, oh, God, even in December, I kind of went like cold turkey everything, but I was really patient with my diet. I didn't like deprive myself, and I just like ate mostly healthy, and I was like, wow, this feels so much better. Like this is sustainable, not like these other things that I've done. I've done these extreme diets. I remember after I had my daughter, I went on this, what the fuck is his name? Something Freeman. Some guy. And he, you know what I'm talking about. I know everyone in the fitness world knows him or, know each other. But him and his girl, they have like these, like, these diets that they do. And it was so extreme. Like I had to eat salmon like 7 times a day.
What?
Yeah. For 1 week straight to put my body in ketosis. And
what the fuck is ketosis?
It's like when you're like, you just automatically are burning fat all the time, kind of, right?
Let's just say, if you cannot sustain it for the rest of your life, it's just something you're doing short term that may affect you. So it's not that you have to eat less. It's that you have to just build a better relationship with food. Mm-hmm. So I'll help you.
Yeah, my relationship with food is not good. I think because I early on in my going to school with mostly white girls, my body was always different. I was always curvy. So I was always like judging myself and feeling like I was bigger than everyone. And then on top of that, I was acting when I was a child and doing modeling. So I was just always kind of very aware of my body early on. And so because of that, I was constantly like comparing myself. And then as an adult, like, okay, I need to like be a certain weight. I need to fit into this. So it's been like an extreme thing where like I'm either like on an extreme diet or like I'm overeating. And then at some points I find balance. And with that specific diet that I went on, I just remember I wanted to throw up. I was like, how the fuck? I can't eat. I couldn't eat salmon for 2 years after that.
Not 2 years.
No, literally. I would smell it and be like,
and that's the crazy thing is, that's the perception that most people have about health and wellness and about looking better and feeling better. I'm getting really serious when I talk about wellness. I get really, really serious because it's my passion, right?
Yeah.
So mentally, like, you just have to be aware. You're what you do most of the time, not what you do some of the time, right? And if you empower people with education, no gimmicks, you have to do something that is going to be sustainable. Understanding your lifestyle, applying different philosophies of maybe eating, exercising to your lifestyle. Sometimes we put ourselves into a box trying to do something that is completely alien to what fits us, what makes us feel good culturally, lifestyle-wise, where we are, right? And what we are able to manage. Like busy moms, you have to know how to work out so that you're able to have enough energy to do everything else that you do. So it's just, a process. And you were given this big brain. And as a woman, we're incredible. Learn about your bodies, learn about yourself. Don't follow your intuition, what feels good. So over the past 11 years, I've just fine-tuned what that feels like. And the nail popped off.
What the fuck?
Speaking of, so before I came in, Jesus Christ, I really tried. I do so many things and people think I'm a robot. But I'm trying to simplify my life, and I just realized that I just lost a nail. There you go.
They were just all there.
Don't give up on press-on nails because you just didn't glue them.
I just didn't glue them. Yeah.
You didn't use any glue. You just pressed them on.
No, I did it a little bit, but I just did. I'm on this all natural,
right?
Leaving my hair all natural, simplifying my life. Therefore, I can do so many other things, which brings me to the next point. If you are a businesswoman, you have your kids, looking perfect all the time is an idea that we're subscribing to on socials, but it's not. The reality is, before I came here, I already had a whole entire meeting, woke up at 4:30, dropped off my daughter at school, had to get ready and do it myself and press on these nails so that I can be here with you amazing ladies. So, you just have to do what feels right for you and understand that sometimes, depending on the season, you're not going to have it all, right? But you will have seasons in which you can plan yourself to potentially feel like you have it all for the year, for whatever duration it is. Because life is not a race, it's a marathon. Baby, you got time.
We do. Wait, so who was Massy 11 years ago? Like, how did you get into this wellness thing? Have you always been like wellness conscious?
No, not at all. When people see me now, they think I had an athletic background, that I was in sports for.
You weren't, girl, because I was watching a clip of you and this guy on the beach, and he was like working out with your best friend, and I was like, this bitch was a track star for sure.
No. I started because of body dysmorphia, depression. I wanted to die at some point, just to give you the short story. And fitness pretty much saved me. It really just, I found my passion. I was at a point in my life where I needed to change. My brain chemistry needed to change. And I found something that I started to do for myself, just like you guys started. I never intended it to be a business. I never intended it to be a career, but I was experiencing depression that took my entire life. So I gave up on everything. At the time, I emancipated when I was 17 years old. I came to the country from the Caribbean, Dominican, when I was 13. Two of my brothers came with me, and by the time I was graduating high school, my brother gets diagnosed with stage 4 Burkitt's lymphoma. Is a form of cancer, and maybe this happens. I'm going to speak on my culture, but everything it's put on the female, right? The boys, we cradle the boys. Everything was put on the females. I was pretty much the only one who acclimated to the culture. Coming in, my brothers didn't, but I did. I was very studious I love to learn.
Did you come here to California or?
No, New York.
Okay, New York.
That's where we all end up, on the East Coast.
That's what I thought. I was like, Dominican, Eagles, New York.
Yeah.
New York or Miami?
You feel these East Coast vibes, even though I've been here in LA for 9 years. But ultimately, just to give you the short story, you can go to my website and see the full documentary. Fitness saved my life. Most people, I come from the Caribbean, We have the highest percentages of diabetes and hypertension, Latinos, of all Latinos, right? And I didn't, even though I grew up doing music, ballet here and there, fitness was never a thing that females did, right? And once I started feeling what I was feeling, I mean, at 17, I had the responsibility of my brother not going to the school that I wanted to, that I worked really, really hard to acclimate to the country. I had to quit it all for my brother for a whole entire year and a half. And I started changing my life, the way that I was eating. Most people do not know that I have a blood condition that causes my asthma. So I couldn't even perform sports because I had a reaction, right? And I literally started, at the time, a boyfriend of mine, my first boyfriend, I ended up in good hands with, who is now one of my best friends, was a personal trainer. And I fell into this depression where, I mean, I'm almost 5'9". I'm tall, right? And I went down to maybe 114 pounds to my lowest, looking almost anorexic, losing all my hair, my gums. I mean, now it's coming back, thank God, after the baby. But I was lost. I quit school. I dropped out. I just didn't want to do anything. I lived that crazy life that you would never think 11 years now, the person that I've become. And everything I did was to help myself be a different person. Mentally, I was weak. I felt weak mentally. And even my emotional intelligence wasn't there, right? So when I say that fitness, I didn't do it for the body, even though I had body dysmorphia, because I'm from the Caribbean. I'm supposed to have curves. And I'm here. An ectomorph. Most people do not know as well. I have to do very hard things to keep a little bit of weight, right? So coincidentally, you know, I just started doing training little by little. I couldn't even run a block without losing my breath and having an asthma attack, right? And I started sharing my journey little by little, and then it just became something huge.
Wow.
Because I was speaking out of honesty. So people followed a journey. It's very difficult to do that now, right? But back then, when Instagram was just a filter app and it started to develop, people were following my journey. And they were relating to what I was feeling, because I've been extremely open about my entire life, right? It's only up until 3 years ago that I've had to remain very quiet and very private for reasons that we're going to probably talk about later on. But I fell in love with fitness, what it did to my brain, what it did to my confidence. I get goosebumps still talking about that story because I will never go back. What you feel when you, I mean, looking back 11 years ago, oh my God, I was like a marionette to what we call today I guess like a system, you know, this shoebox that you have to fill, these ideas. I had to open up my mind about a lot of things, and fitness really, truly gave me power. And for a very long time, once I got in the groove of things that I just wanted to mentally feel better, and all I was doing was like cardio and doing things that going outside, going for walks, I started working on my strength because I felt weak mentally and physically. And the strength that you see in everything that I do today has stemmed from that very beginning, the confidence that fitness gives you. And I've always been this way. I want to be the best and see the fullest potential that I can be, period. So that's how it all started. You know, fitness is very important. I teach it, I coach it. And I do it in a way that is BS free. Well, we can say bullshit free. I'm not going to be the person that is going to tell you what you want to hear or sell you a dream. I'm going to give you the tools so that we can slowly find a process to get you up to speed and take your power back with your body, with your health, most of the things that I do is now life coaching. Because
I was
you have
to say,
to do
this
a
sounds like therapy.
rewiring of the
I'm like,
brain.
It sounds like it's like a therapy, which I think innately, I think once you start getting into shape and you start working on your body, or it eventually, it inevitably also starts to affect your mind or train your mind in a way.
Mental health. Yeah, like you said.
In a capacity, you know, if you let it. But, you know, sometimes, I mean, as you know, and if you're listening, like, I get it. Like, I'm one of those people that is like on their fitness journey and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so fucking good. I feel amazing. And then like one thing comes into my life to kind of like say, put a wrench in it real quick. And then it's like, am I going to take the wrench or am I going to go? And then I don't know. Like it's always, it's the consistency for me. And I don't know why it's so hard to take care of yourself. It's not, but it feels like it is in the day that we're in, this space and time that we're in with our being moms, being entrepreneurs. Like I want to travel, like, oh shit, I'm going to go away for a week. How am I going to make sure that I stay active in that week and then I come back and I'm not making excuses? Oh God, I'll go back in a few days. You know, it's really like the commitment to yourself, like anything, like whether that's therapy, whether that's, you know, you're building something that you're passionate about, and also like taking care of this thing
you only have
that we only get one of. I see people, I was on the airplane today and there was this woman, she didn't even look that old, but like she needed to have a wheelchair. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm so grateful that my legs work. Like you take for granted like just little things that just come naturally until you don't have that shit, because I mean shit happens, but also like, you know, because it's your own, because of yourself.
We don't become old because we age. We become old because we stop moving and doing the things that are going to keep us young and keep us sexy. There has to be some sort of vanity that you have to have, and self-respect and self-worth, that you look at yourself and you learn how to cope in the right ways. I mean, I could grab the glass of wine. I mean, it's easy when you don't have other tools to manage with your children. I mean, raising a child on your own as a single mom it's already hard. So learning the tools to be able to be more efficient and troubleshoot what you want, it takes planning, right? But these things are doable. So that's what fitness teaches you in the beginning if you've never done it. Because imagine, like I've been verbally abused, led other people. I would say you allow people to make you feel certain things. You know, not even loving my body for what it was, for who I was. So think about emotional abuse, all of it. Now you can't do that. There's even now, because most people ask me if I'm dating and whatnot, and prospects, it's like, you have to come correct, because I know from a mile away what you're bringing to the table. And that's okay with me. You know, it's okay with me. I'm still single. And will be for a very long time.
Yeah, it's like if you're not aware of your self-worth, then you're more susceptible to emotional abuse, you know, because then you believe it. If you don't know who you are or what you are, people can say anything to you and then it'll affect you. But I'm reading a book and it discusses like specifically how women are loved from like childhood into adulthood, and that, you know, we generally don't have complexes with our bodies until puberty. And at that point we kind of adopt the understanding that we have to show up a certain way in our bodies, and then our self-worth is tied to that. And then that's when, like, at puberty, your mom is like, put on earrings, or you're not dressing like a lady, or like there's this, like, at puberty you start to understand how your appearance affects your worth. And like, even like, I'm skinny, you're curvy, and like having such different body types, we're all affected by society's standard of what beauty is and how you're supposed to show up. And then like that, you know, if it doesn't look like this, then you're too skinny. If you're too this, then you're too that. And it's just like how those standards start to like warp how you feel about yourself. And like, we're all beautiful women and we're all gonna look differently, but like how you feel is generally like the most important catalyst of everything else. You know, it's like, you might be thicker than, you know, and I might be skinny, and I've been skinny for my whole life, and also like felt like too skinny and not curvy enough. And like, but it's just crazy how, if you're not aware of who you are and really just taking care of yourself, you can easily be told anything.
And what's funny is because it's cultural too. Right. In our culture, blacks and browns, more curvy.
Right.
This is why BBLs are very
popular.
Not popular, right?
Ooh, girl.
But at the end of the day, it's not the
BBLs
BBL
in
that is
Miami.
going to maintain a family together.
Right.
You can have all the surgeries in the world and have the nicest body in the world. It's you.
Right.
It's how you show up for yourself. Is what you do every single day. That it is self-love and self-worth goes far beyond than what you look like. And I always say we should never be in denial. You know, and there's a lot of us who are in denial. At the end of the day, you know what you have to do to get on the other side. How you get to the other side, right, is what's important. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm referring it back to saying, like, you know who you are. You accentuate the air, you know, your body the way that you want to accentuate it, right? So if you're not where you want to be, then let's fix it. And let's fix it from a area that comes from love instead of hate.
Right.
Like, okay, like, let's not be in denial, girl. Like, you let yourself go. Cool. I'm here to help. Mm-hmm. Together, let's go. Let's do this. Right. Let's get you back to being who you feel like you want to be. And he's transcending even body types. So,
right.
Yeah. Well, we have this thing on our show where we play a little game called Trigger. Mm-hmm. And I would love to play with you to get to know you a little better quickly. Yeah. Basically, I say a word, and then you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Don't overthink it.
I won't.
It might get nasty.
Okay.
And
When's your birthday?
Wait, that's part of Trigger, bitch.
Oh.
Is it?
Yeah, it is in this one.
Okay, because it's never been in there before.
You want my sun, my moon, my ascendant?
You know I want all that shit. You know
Give
I'm
us
from,
it all.
from
I'll give
LA.
it to you.
I want the whole chart.
Well, we might as well. What is it actually? What is it?
Oh God, Tina Turner actually. But my sun is in Sag.
Okay.
My moon is in Gemini.
Ooh.
My Venus is in Scorpio.
Oh. Okay. What's your rising? Do you know your rising?
Aries.
Oh, you're fire, baby.
Yeah.
Your rising and your sun are fire, and then your moon is what's
air.
Gemini? Air. Yeah.
Air. I don't know what the hate
You're
is
a
on
little
Gemini.
And you're Latina. You're a fucking
Latina.
firecracker.
Yeah.
The hate of what fire signs?
Well, air signs.
Oh, air signs.
They always
Gemini
get a bad rap.
Specifically Gemini.
Are you a Gemini?
He's an Aquarius.
Oh, I love Aquariuses.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's specific signs that do. I always say, like, it's the unhealed versions of these signs. And granted, no one's healed, right? But like the ones that haven't even begun to acknowledge that they needed to do any sort of work at all. Those are the ones you got to be careful of. Those are the terrifying ones, because I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpios, you know, we're already kind of like, you know, we're a little tricky. So when you,
how would you even say tricky?
Not tricky, like sneaky. Well, yes, but
if you're done wrong,
yeah. But I think, you know, we can just be evil in ways.
I believe that.
And there's certain signs that don't really have evil in them. They don't, you know, and so you know, Cancer too, because she's Cancer.
Yeah.
Very highly emotional, you know, too. Like,
just as much as a Scorpio, bitch.
I'm not saying that you're
it just shows in a different way.
Yeah, but
shows
I'm
in a
just saying
different
that highly emotional aspect can allow, if you are not working on yourself, can
come out hateful.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I feel like especially with the men.
It's like my dad. My dad is a Scorpio. He's the coolest guy.
Yeah.
But
Cross
you better
him.
walk correct.
Yeah.
And he'll love you
Until he don't.
until you do something wrong, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Ghosted.
For life.
All right.
Yeah, I could do that. Okay, here we go. Let's play Trigger, guys. Bad habits.
I have so many.
I was gonna say you don't have any, bitch.
Dang, bad habits. Trying to save people.
Captain Save a Hoe.
That's I feel like
That part.
bad habits of just women in
Save
general.
everyone.
Because I don't feel like
With all the red flags.
Yeah.
Like, they're there for a
I
reason.
can help you.
are men doing a
No.
lot of saving?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean maybe like financially sometimes it makes them feel good, but the
Not
actual
even then,
saving, like
no.
like brand
Healing?
building of a human,
No.
No.
That's women.
marriage. Not those eyes.
Marriage.
She said slavery.
A mutual contract.
Motherhood.
Jesus, it's supposed to be quick, huh? Best thing that ever happened to me.
Religion.
Agnostic, but very Christian.
What?
Isn't agnostic Christian? No.
I thought
No.
agnostic you don't believe in
But
anything.
No, that's
it's not that I don't believe
Not
in
believe in
anything,
anything, but
but
you're
it's
not- you don't
open.
subscribe.
We don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
We just don't know.
You just don't know.
But I'm a child of God, very Christian, born in a very orthodox
Wait, hold on.
household.
That don't make no sense. How are you going to be a child of God, very Christian, but you're agnostic?
Agnostic, because think about this. If you're a Muslim, do I hate you?
Well, do you think if you choose a religion, you have to hate one of them?
Well, but most Orthodox religions, they are
There's a hierarchy in which
so
was
for me,
No, there's no hierarchy,
we
there's just
don't
one.
know. We have, if you understand world religion, we're all saying that something higher exists, and we're all creating our different stories. But at the end of the day, most religions, God is love. So I am not going to hate on another religion, hate on another person, because I am believing in my opinion of what is up there. So that's what I mean when I say agnostic. I can sit down with anyone and hear you out and continue to learn. But at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know what's up there and what's waiting. What we do know is that we are all made out of flesh. And even though we want to be different and differentiate ourselves from whether it's cultural, ethnicity, race, beliefs, political, at the end of the day, we all go through one thing that we all have in common. It's human experience.
death.
Yeah.
We all die.
And death. Exactly. So that's what I mean.
Okay. Got it.
I know what I know and I follow what I follow, but technically we do not know.
So are you also open to like adopting certain belief systems of other religions if they resonate with you?
Well, if you look at, we're going at home. My mom is going to kill me. My mom's going to be upset. But she as well has opened herself to being more receptive. So what did you ask me again?
Oh, I was just asking if would you be open to adopting
Yes.
other belief systems and of other religions if they resonated with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Like being kind and loving your neighbor.
Yeah, or like I don't know, whatever it is, like certain rituals or belief systems in general, like, you know. Okay. Monogamy.
Tradition.
Open relationship.
Good luck.
Childhood.
Special.
Your childhood.
Wonderful.
Obesity.
Preventive.
Health.
Priority.
Cannabis.
NA. Just like meh.
Black women.
Gorgeous.
Favorite artist, dead or alive?
Why are we doing this?
Favorite artist, dead or
Not why.
alive?
Why are we doing this?
I would say Jesus Christ. That is just hard.
I was like, Jesus, what song he got?
I'm just so ambiguous with my music.
Which him?
I would say, total package. I will say Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Freaking love Bruno Mars.
I do love Bruno Mars too.
He is so talented.
I wasn't expecting Bruno.
You know,
Bruno Mars.
He is
like an old time, you know, you can just put it anywhere, listen to it. He's just like whether you're crying, hyped up, motivated.
Have you seen his documentary where he was like a little Elvis impersonator as a child on the islands?
No.
Yes, he was an Elvis impersonator, like a tiny Elvis impersonator, like 7 years old.
In Hawaii?
Maybe younger, 6 in Hawaii. Yeah, he would get hired for parties and he was the best.
That's hilarious.
That's why he has that, you know, he got that little doo-wop soul shit going on.
I'm going to change my mind. I'm an artist. I would say Juan Luis Guerra.
Juan who?
Juan Luis Guerra.
Luis.
If
Juan
I'm
Luis
going on the Spanish
Guerra.
Latin side,
You gotta go there.
he would be the ultimate.
Okay. Is he still alive?
Oh yeah.
Okay. He's still popping.
Ooh.
Okay. Is he cute?
I mean, not like that.
Well, you just said it
But
like
he's
he was
popping like internationally.
Okay, you were like,
he's
ooh,
popping.
I was like, do I need to look up Juan
But
Luis Guerra?
no, he's like a dad.
Okay, like a
Yeah.
That's
dad
like,
hot.
hey, dads are hot too.
Hey.
Turn on.
Intelligence,
Turn off.
arrogance,
Masturbation.
needed.
Threesomes.
Good luck.
Favorite
Not good
That's
luck.
that fire. She's like, it's mine.
Good luck.
Not happening.
I don't share.
Anal.
Why not? If you're with your partner, why not?
Favorite porn category.
I don't have one.
You don't watch porn?
I don't watch porn.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. Favorite position.
It all depends.
Um,
In love?
yeah.
Like in love or like casual sex? There's two different ones.
I mean, I don't know what casual sex is.
Okay, favorite position in overall sex.
Missionary.
Missionary. Just look in
Yeah,
their eyes.
It's intimacy. It's about intimacy.
That's at Scorpio and Venus.
Yeah.
It's
No,
true.
it's like intimacy.
My Scorpio's in Venus too,
like,
girl.
Yeah,
Like,
locking
look
eyes.
me in the soul. Look me down.
Yeah.
In the soul. If you break eye contact, I can't trust you. Oh, you can't look at me? Well, it's over. Therapy.
Essential.
Celebrity crush.
Am I weird that I don't have any like celebrity? I mean,
No.
No, it's
I've
sometimes
met
hard.
some people that I had a crush on, and it was a disappointment.
Oh, man.
So I don't have any crushes per se because I need to know who you are as a person.
Do you have any?
I'm a sapiosexual.
Do you have any crushes right now, in real life?
Yes,
You do?
I do.
Oh, just one?
Yeah.
You're not a
I have
celebrity,
a
though.
couple, right? And I'm just seeing how you're gonna, this is a Scorpio vibe. You just take it slow and see if you're down for the long ride. It takes me a lot to trust people.
How has dating been as a single mom? Because you were married.
A joke.
You were married before, right?
Yes.
And how long were you married for?
3 years. Very short.
Were you guys with each other prior to that for a good amount of time as well?
8 years.
8 years and then 3 years married.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no, not 8 years total.
8 years. 9 years total.
Okay.
3 of those were married.
that's a long time in your
Very.
a very long time, and I feel like I don't know how old you are, but like in a
I'm about to be 35 this year.
congratulations!
Say it loud and
Welcome to the
proud.
35
You're
Club.
the same age as I.
Listen, 35 is a different 35.
It is. I mean, because even my relationship, I was with my partner for 7 years. We got together when I was 22, so he took up all of my 20s pretty much, like from 22 to 30. And so those are like such integral parts of your life, those 20s. So it shaped me in ways.
And you're naive still. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming out of your marriage, like what was that like? I mean, I guess choosing to not be married anymore. I mean, at least for me, like there was definitely like a moment in my relationship where I was extremely happy for a long period of time. And I talk about that too. And even in our book, I say like there were years in which I was totally happy. I was blissfully like, me and my partner, we don't argue. Like everything's perfect. Like he's mean to other people, but never to me.
I say pay attention how people treat others.
I know. Well,
You have to.
well, I was a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God, I'm special. And charismatic, and he was extremely charismatic and funny. So there were a lot of things that kind of balanced those things out, And we were young too, and so was he in ways. Choosing to be a single mother can be extremely scary, especially the family dynamic that you've had in your mind of like what your family is supposed to look like, the environment you want your daughter to grow up in, maybe her having something you didn't have, can be heavy. It's not an easy choice. I mean, we talk about this too all the time of like women, we typically try everything before we walk away.
I tried everything.
Yeah, like it's not a hasty decision. Even though, like, you know, we're now in the culture where men are saying like, well, you chose to be a single parent, or like, you know, you broke up the family dynamic. That women women leave men more than men leave women.
Basically, women should suffer even if you're unhappy.
Well, I think it is statistically true that women are the people in the relationship that end up leaving the most.
Yeah.
I don't think that's always true. I think men.
I'm not saying, of course, it's not always true. I think statistically, though, it is. A lot of times women are like, we've tried everything.
I feel like women are less like, I feel like women are less likely to leave, and men, I hear, like, I don't know if this is like in the movies, but like, he left me for the secretary. Like,
Girl, you've been watching too many Lifetime movies.
Well, I think women are less likely, like, even if they're unhappy, even if they're unfulfilled, like we said, they will try everything. They will do everything. They will exert every fucking option before saying, all right, I'm out. Like, you'll go through being single in your mind for like 2 years before you're actually like, okay, I'm done.
Well, here's a statistic. I just had to look it up.
Okay.
Women initiate divorce more often than men on average. Numerous studies have shown, in fact, nearly 70% of divorces are initiated by women.
That's because men think they have like all the chances in the world and they're never going to get left.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my question, and it was long-winded, but
the original question, how was leaving? Well, it was my daughter.
Well, I think like the journey in it, like, were you guys happy the whole time, and then like something shifted, or you kind of, I think too, as women, we have these growth spurts too, where we're like, oh shit, I've outgrown you. Like, we're not aligned. We're not on the same page anymore.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to speak on the other party. I'm going to speak on me. Often when we are talking about breakups and whatnot, it's not that I made the wrong choice. It's that we grew apart in the things that we wanted and how we wanted to do it. If I badmouth my other party for whatever reason, I'm badmouthing myself, right? So I have to take responsibility for the things that I didn't see. Red flags all over. Right? So for me, and even how I look at relationships now, and if I am going to even go and spend my time with another person, I take things in consideration. So my family's locked in. I come from a very solid family that has very strong just family ties. I have 2 dads and a mom and, well, 2 moms and 2 dads. And it's crazy to see how they interact with each other. It's very healthy, right? So from that standpoint, that was, you know, flag number 1. But I wouldn't
like
even call it
like
a
the
flag.
partner not having a strong family structure. I agree with that.
Structure and dynamic.
It's really important. I think people overlook that aspect. It doesn't always affect the person.
Yes.
But 9 times out of 10, if your partner doesn't have an example, like, there will be challenges.
And from a very young age, I've always been the same. I don't think, you know, I think we evolve our personality traits, but I'm very independent. I'm a learner. I love to learn. And I'm just a force to be reckoned with in everything that I do. That's how my parents raised me. They raised me with a lot of, they gave me a lot of confidence. You're going to be great. You're going to do great things. They always instilled that in me, especially my dad, until I was on the other path. He just disowned me. But for a good time,
other path.
for a good reason, right? Because I had to learn, right? So I think people grow apart. And for me, the concept of marriage was very important, because if I was going to get married, it's for life, okay? But those were not my circumstances. I didn't get married for those reasons. I looked at my daughter and I said, is this the version of Massy that you want your daughter to grow up with? Absolutely not. My daughter is not going to have this idea of me. And it was very hard to do. When people get together, you know, their weaknesses and their strengths, it's not like you're weak in this point and I'm strong in this point and now I have to feel a certain way. But you put those strengths together, usually that weakness that you have may be your partner's strengths. Right. And vice versa. So you work together to grow. And that never happened. So I felt like I kept growing and growing and growing and demanding the best version of myself, and just doing that, and just being I'm very just open, like, hey, do you. I'm just going to continue to do me, but let this never stop, because I'm never going to stop being Massy. And when I'm silenced, that's when everything just fell apart. And it was not amicable, and I'm still dealing with the repercussions of that. And it's tough. And it's tough to be tough because usually people don't see, like, hey, I'm a human. I have all these emotions that I can't even share with you right now, but I have to remain strong for my daughter, because I had to run and start from scratch and rebuild myself. So from the behind the scenes, my following, my tribe, I call my following my tribe. We have connected for X amount of years, 11 years, and you see this person just sometimes oversharing, but oversharing from a point that is going to be helpful to another person. And then it just went cold. There's no sharing. There's no anything.
Was that because you chose to do that, or you felt like you had to protect your relationship or protect what was going on without influence? Or
were you being silenced? Did you feel like he was like prohibiting you from like just interacting in a way that you generally would have?
No, I would say most, we had this conversation off before you arrived, but you see this a lot in the Black and brown communities. Usually when breakups happen, there's a lot of he said, she said.
Oh, right.
And then you have to protect the other sides. Protect your family. You have a family that's grieving what's happening. You also have a daughter or a child that eventually is going to see this and it's going to impact them. So I just didn't want to speak on something that I was still processing. You're unhappy in a relationship. You have to work. And if you're unhappy, let's work on the things that we're unhappy about. And let's put in the hard work. Now, if you don't want to put in that hard work and we are both unhappy, at least I was unhappy, then it's time to break ties, and we can do it amicably. But again, breaking ties would mean, what would that mean? That now we're breaking off what we had together, but it was fine by me because I can start from scratch and no problem, right? And I can continue to work with you in that capacity. We were a great team, okay? If we were a great team, great. We can continue this. All I want is my freedom. Because I don't want to be in this marriage. This is not working for me, and this is not making me happy, and this is not how I want to raise my daughter, right? But I really tried, and we tried, right? So eventually, when I rebuild everything, I had to learn. I didn't have the time to go on social media and explain these things that were just unfolding so slow, and it was so aggressive and emotional, and I just couldn't, because that time that I allocated it to the noise, I call it noise, and it was very painful. That time I was losing time on how am I going to rebuild myself? Where do I put this energy? I had to put it on myself to process. How? Anyone going in, like it takes two. Takes two to make it work, takes two to mess it up as well. So I'm not in denial. You have to take into account what you put.
Your role.
And exactly, until you're just like, well, I guess I've been really doing all the right things and this is not working, so I'm out. And it's okay. It's okay for things not to be permanent. It's okay to outgrow each other and to say, let's go our separate ways. Let's not take this personal, and just let's see how can we amicably continue our life and continue to raise our daughter and whatnot. But this time, 3 years is taking me to truly rebuild everything, where I've had to go back to school to learn about business management, to learn how I'm going to lead a team, to be a good mentor, to learn areas that I didn't know and understood, but I have this big brain. If it's scary, it's because it's unknown. If it's scary, because I don't know it. So 3 years of empowerment, how to run a business, partnerships, how to run partnerships that are symbiotic. They're all partnerships, because all of those things, years and years and years of partnerships, were all just gone. Contact lists, all of it. It was all gone. And I had to rebuild that and rebuild myself first. So at some point I said, I'm going to quit it all. I don't want to be on TV anymore. I don't want to be this person that is sharing her life, because I saw it and I saw all the comments. It was crazy. And even to see it from women, right?
Or like hating on you and like attacking you.
Even from women. The things that people may say, because you never know. You don't have the full story. I cheated. I was the one who left, who it's like crazy allegations. And I'm here, a human being, seeing all of this. Oh, I knew it was not real. I knew this was fake. Oh, look, she had a perfect life. And what? I'm a human being, you know? You have no idea what I'm going through. And once I remove the anchors, it's been great. And I wouldn't want to do it any other way. I'm going to teach my daughter how to be independent and how to be an asset. What's the point of staying in a marriage or staying in a relationship when it's not sustainable? So I just didn't want to. I made bad choices, poor choices. I didn't have to get married. Because, just didn't. Why? Because we were not there yet. And I knew it. We were just not there yet.
Did you feel like when you got married, you had that fear? Like you kind of knew underlyingly that, like, not like it wouldn't work out, but that there was fear attached to it.
Yeah.
There wasn't like
For sure.
certainty.
So there's this mutual contract that we have, that we're going to remain best friends, that we're going to remain the best to make decisions for our daughter, for our marriage, for the business that we're trying to grow. And to me, integrity is everything. And when I didn't feel like a moral compass was aligned with mine and there was no integrity, I take the things that I do very serious, and I take risks on me. I bet on myself because I know that everything that I'm doing is stemming from passion and the education that I've put myself through all this time. And I work very hard. I sometimes, I open my eyes. I'm taking my first vacation in the last 7 years, guys.
Wow.
What? Yes.
Girl.
Yeah.
You work too hard for it to be 7 years until you take a break.
Yeah.
Well, I'm self-funded for the past 11 years. I was able to, I don't know, I like to do things my way. And I've had opportunities to scale my company and scale it from like all these investors and whatnot, but there's absolutely no way that I'm going to do that because I'm going to lose my voice. And then I'm just going to become a cookie cutting version of everything that is out there instead of providing and keeping my voice completely just clean for the consumer.
Right.
The right partner will come. The right investors will come one day, but I'm not there yet. I'm not ready. I had to rebuild 8 years of a name in the industry. 8 years of doing things in a certain way at the craziest time. It was a pandemic when I had to do it all, right? So there was a lot of me putting my head down to work, and not only to work, to make sure that everything was at a point where I felt safe. I needed to buy a home for my daughter. I was able to do that. I love what I do. We have a community. Like my tribe, my MA Warrior community is a community. Just like you guys have your audience and we help each other with our stories, and that's it. I have battered women on my like from nurses to the military to battered women to great professionals. I mean, it's a rainbow of women, and we're a community where we help each other. So that to me is very important. And I'm a big feminist. I'm all here for female empowerment.
I think it's important to hear stories from women like you, or just, like all types of women, because I think people have a perception. Now, you're disciplined, you're strong, you have this amazing self-funded life and business, and you've built this amazing tribe and this community and, brand. And I think sometimes people don't recognize that, like, even those women get got. Even those women get in situations and in relationships and they look up and you're like, I know I'm smart, but this is getting tricky. Or like, even I have gotten into a relationship that's fucked up. Even I have ignored red flags. Even me, myself, who's done this and that and this, my intuition came in and I I sided with the fact that I have a daughter and I want to build a family and this is what it would look like and this is what and like, it's like you have the wherewithal to understand when you're making a decision that's like, maybe this is not the right decision, but you have hopes of having a partner that's going to remain, respectful and amicable, and, and even you have made mistakes and not mistakes because obviously it's always for the better. It's always for the greater like the lesson,
Mistakes are necessary.
So necessary. I mean,
mistakes teach you. That's experience.
Good moms, bad choices, baby.
Think about this. This is my first time being married. My first time being a mom. Who's telling you that you have to have a manual? It's your first time. So can we stop judging each other for our choices? We're going to that's life. Good choices, bad choices. How we steer and learn from these choices, I had to. So no vacation for 7 years. Guess what? If I wanted to continue to be self-funded and have a voice in my brand, I needed to put my head down because I was managing a lot of things. Managing divorce, managing daughter, managing business, managing the front, the persona in the front of managing a lot. And you have to put your head down.
All the while someone's telling you, if we're not together, look at your desperate friends looking for men. You're gonna be just like them. I've heard that line very many times. That's why I'm triggered. But like just planting seeds of self-doubt and planting seeds of you can't do this without me, even though you know that you can, even though you've built this prior to this relationship, even though the brand is you. It's just like, it's those like when you let somebody in and you trust them and you kind of feel safe with them and you let them in on secrets and on businesses and on opportunities and partnerships. You give someone, not to say never to trust anyone, but the opportunity to fuck with you from the inside out. So it's like you feel so close with someone and then you have this expectation because that's how you would be and that's how you would show up in a relationship. But then you see that like everybody's not great.
And that's why therapy is important and emotional intelligence. That was extremely important. 2 years of therapy to try to process everything. And try to process like this. I'm blaming myself. I'm like, wait a second. I am too smart for this. When did this happen?
Well,
what?
How? Well, I think
how?
I think especially because of the brand you have and the message that you have and the honesty and all these things you have, you judge yourself even more.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm supposed to know this.
I'm not supposed to do this shit.
Yeah. How the fuck did you get me?
Other women not to empower themselves, to feel strong in their bodies, to feel strong in their minds. Meanwhile, I'm feeling weak in mind,
slowly
and
being
not
manipulated.
even realizing because it's like little cuts. It's like we interviewed Megan Doherty, who and we talk about her in our book as well, and she is a narcissist expert, and she talks about how a lot of times narcissists, it's like little paper cuts until suddenly you're bleeding everywhere. You didn't even realize it. And I think a lot of women can relate to that because sometimes it's not so black and white. It's not like, oh, he hit me, I'm out. Or like,
narcissistic.
Or like, he called me a bitch. Like, he called me a bitch like 10 times. I shouldn't be here anymore. No. Sometimes it's just the little tiny things that they just start tapping away at your power.
But think about this. How much power it takes to say, okay, I'm out.
You did that, but
and I'm out.
And it's over.
Yeah.
Cut.
And guess what? I'm doing better. And better. Right? And that's the fear. If you think about this, living so unhappy in a situation where you have it. We all have this gut feeling of things that are not aligning with our energy. So you're going to say that you're going to stay in this for the rest of your life or going through that pain? Change is overwhelming, but if we want a different outcome, we're going to have to pivot, right? And another nail popped off. Jesus Christ. But
she heard the message. She said,
it's very important, and to me, I was just judging myself like, how? Like, you knew this. You literally knew this.
Right.
And here you are.
Right.
Just because you don't like to be in Zoom calls and manage people. Like, really? Get your act together. Get out. And this is what you're going to teach your daughter. Hopefully, Indira, who is a very intelligent child, my goal is to make a better version of myself.
Right.
In her, whatever she wants to be. So I've made this commitment to be a mom, and it's the best thing ever. And it comes with its challenges, right? But that's my little best friend. So I need to not only do it for the people who follow me, but do it for her, do it for my family, do it for myself, right? I had to prove myself. You know, you get to the point where you've accomplished so much and now you're complacent. Okay, what's the next level? That was the next level. Look for your happiness. Let's go. And the amount of learning and the empowerment that I have right now, it's to another level. Well, this is why, like, I constantly tell women, put your energy, look, that energy that you have, we're all heartbroken. Being broken up, lied to, belittled, all of that, it's awful. And you're going to feel it. You're going to start blaming yourself. You're going to start, it's tough. But that energy, you can put it towards the other person. This is happening to me or whatever. Take that freaking energy and channel it.
Transmute.
Channel it to the point that what you're feeling, those big emotions, it's to actually get you to the other side. Oh, you feel like this is going to break me? Watch me. Watch me. Let me shut the noise. Do whatever you want to do. I'm going to focus on XYZ. And that's what I did strategically. What do I need to do in order to continue to learn and in order to continue to be the best at what I do? Period. Because at the end of the day, yes, I have a business, but people buy my business because it's symbiotic. You're getting something out of my services, and it's symbiotic. You're winning, I'm winning. I always believe, like, ignorance is bliss, but education is power. So many women came out saying, I'm dealing with the same thing. Women that are colleagues of mine they have been stripped down to zero on food stamps. If it wasn't for therapy, for the family circle that I have, I don't know if I would have been afloat, because it took it emotionally. For 3 years, it was an emotional breakdown. And you have to process those things, and to have to see your daughter going through all of that, and you're going through it, and still hold it down to be a good mom when your heart is breaking, when your head is breaking, right? When you're just so afraid and you're everything is coming at you, that's pretty tough. But learning how to go from the other side, my faith, right? Faith had a lot to do with that. My circle had a lot to do with that. Therapy had a lot to do with me processing and coming out the other side stronger. But I'm telling you, it is hard. It is a lot of putting your head down, your desires as a person, right? As a woman, that you have desires. Imagine if it came to a breakup, you were already checked out.
Right.
And you're still a female. You're still a woman. You still have this concept that you're chasing of, what does this family dynamic look like? I want a happy story for my daughter and I. How can I create this environment where it will not look like that anymore? But let's do something that looks like, for us, it looks like a family, right? And it is tough. And the crying that I think I aged the past 3 years. No, seriously. The amount of crying, frustration, sleepless nights, burnouts, people have no idea what I've gone through. And they would never see it, literally. Because at the end of the day, I'm pushing through. Right. And they're going to know, once I decide to write all these strategies, right? They're going to know. But this is how we get to the other side, by community, by talking.
We have to. This has been like a savior for us, being able to like show up honestly and like in friendship, and just like the sister circles that we've been in, to like, bitch, I'm hurting, you know, like, bitch, I'm hurting. I don't know, and like, but the strength and the strength and power in the conversation and sisterhood, and saying, I got you, and saying, girl, me too. Like, you're not the only person this happened to. Like, that shit is so powerful. And truly, it's like, when these things happen, especially as moms, especially as moms of daughters, it's like, daughters heal. And like, when you look at a child in the face, especially as a woman to a small woman, and you're like, there's no way in fucking hell I'm going to let you see me stay miserable at the hand of somebody else, even if it is your daddy. you know,
because that's going to be her story.
That will be her story.
And absolutely not.
No, and you will inherit this half-ass version of me because I've subjected you to my energy, and we're connected no matter what. But if you transmute that energy, even if it's apart from that dad, that power innately inherits to your child. It's like, oh, I see my mom move a bunch of shit around. I see my mom bounce. I see my mom break and build it back up. Multiple times, however many times. And for women listening to this and who can relate or are still in a relationship that no longer serves you, or at the very end of that relationship and right now you're like, oh shit, this is me. There is nothing stronger than picking up the pieces and doing that shit again, because the version of yourself that you see after that is the best version you'll ever see, and it will take a fucking ton to get you in the same spot in the same way. Like, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Like, the person I am coming out of my relationship with my child's father is 100 million times stronger than I was prior to that, because now I know nobody can break me. Yes. Nobody can break me. Like, when you're in the trenches and you're crying and you're at the bare minimum of yourself, you don't even see or feel yourself anymore, and then you start to rediscover those parts of you that you had lost. It's so hard for a motherfucker to come in and take that away from you again. And you're that much more powerful. And like I said, I've said this before, I say this in the book, is like, once you choose your happiness, despite whoever told you it's not important, somebody's going to tell you that your happiness is not important. Probably the person benefiting from your unhappiness. But when you start to reclaim those pieces of you slowly and surely, the gravitation of all the things you want is so fucking powerful. Like, women, for lack of better words, we're alchemists. And when you choose you choose automatically everything else that benefits you. And it starts to come to you without much effort. But you have to let go of the shit that no longer serves you, even if it's the person you thought was closest to you. Period.
And this is pretty much how you learn. I feel like I went to the school of life. I've had not a lot of relationships, so my relationships are long.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those.
Me too, girl.
I believe in tradition. I believe in traditional values, right? And now I know exactly what I want, and I can see it a mile away. I see it a mile away. And this is why, like earlier, you asked me if I had a celebrity crush and whatnot. And it is so funny because you're here in LA in the little pocket. Everybody knows everybody. And, you know, they have this idea of you. And I've been set up in so many different dates and with people. And I'm just like, wow, you have these accolades. You have all this money. You have all this fame. And you have all this. But you have nothing.
No substance.
Nothing. And now I can just say, I know exactly what I want, what I would accept, and
no thank you.
I have a personal, like, you have to, when you see yourself in patterns, and I saw myself in a pattern, saving people. And now I understood, hey, you're deserving of someone who's matching your values, your moral compass, who you are as a person. If that doesn't match who you are, it's not sustainable. Because at some point, I understood, I don't care how, I have no type. My type is, I'm a sapiosexual. I like intelligence. That's what brings me to the next person, you know, or allures me to someone. If you can teach me something, if we can grow together, But now it's just like, now I know what I want when I see it, how it's packaged, how it's presented. That is about actions and not words. You can tell me anything. Okay, I'm just here listening. Okay. Let me see how those words are going to translate into actions, what you do, the little things that you do every day, right? How you treat others. How's your relationship with your significant others, meaning your family, your siblings, your friends, how you talk about people, right? How you treat other people.
How you treat yourself.
Yourself, and even your parents, because I want a family. To me, that's the ultimate goal. And family can look very different, right? To me, my family right now, it's Indy and I. That's our family. But if Indira has yet to meet someone. She doesn't know anyone but her father. That's it. The day that she ever meets someone is because that's the one.
Right.
And I want it just that way. Because she needs to understand, like, if someone doesn't treat you well, you wait up until the person that is going to treat you well. Because I'm making myself an asset. And especially now, you have to have two breadwinners. Like, both men and women, that's it. If you are both an asset to each other, you're not leaving that. Because you're growing together. You're an asset. You're not looking at your partner and saying, like, where all of this lack. When the balance is uneven is when you start becoming unhappy.
Right.
So, to me, I wanted to go through those experiences. Not that I wanted, but going through them.
Now you know.
Rephrase. Now I am
needed to.
lucky.
You needed to.
I needed to. I mean, I have no experience. Literally. People that know me, I grew up in a household where I went to Catholic school. My skirts down to here. I had to, that was my mom growing up. No, you can't shave your legs until you're like 16 or whatnot. You can't, that's how I grew up. So it's very limited in the experience that I have. But now, you know, I've been out.
You've been out a little bit?
Yeah.
Do you think that you would get into business with another partner?
No.
Do you think you're going to adopt your mom's way of like raising your daughter, like as strict as Catholic school, as like as traditional as you were raised?
No. I'm raising my daughter completely the opposite. My daughter and I are like best friends. She has a voice. I respect her.
Whereas in your house, it's like, I'm the adult and this
Correct.
that last say.
How does that work?
Right.
She's an individual.
Right.
She's literally a little individual with her own mind, and she has her personality.
Do you think being raised that way, I mean, and granted, our parents are raised the way they were raised, and we're like the first generation that's like, I might be able to change this. Some things need to shift. Like we have so much like information about just so much awareness that our parents maybe didn't have. But do you think that in ways that like that heavy traditional, you know, like upbringing played a part in trying to make your marriage work for so long?
Possibly.
Like sticking to the rules and the way that in which you thought you were supposed to show up as a wife and as a woman for the family.
If I would have listened to my mom, I would have never gotten into that. So I should have listened.
Oh, your mom told you
I
don't.
did everything.
Your mom told you
the
don't.
Opposite.
Okay, your mom said
I
don't do
did
it.
everything the opposite.
Well, because mom must be knowing.
But hey, you go to school, then you graduate, then you meet Prince, then you meet this. That's how she wanted me to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I went against the grain, and that was just not. It just didn't work for me.
She told you to marry him, or she told you do not?
She didn't want that path. I moved in before exactly like all of that. You know,
and she would have preferred you
very
to get married.
traditional.
Okay.
And to that point, I will raise Indy in a traditional way.
Right.
That she knows how valuable she is as a female, you know? And the way that I'm raising her is to be just academically, and emotionally, just bigger. She needs to think, well, not that she needs to, but I'm teaching her about emotional intelligence. My daughter is like heavily in tune with emotions. She'll sit there and she is the most well-behaved child. She'll have a full conversation with you. She's just, raising her to have emotional intelligence.
I saw this beautiful clip of you guys, and it like kind of brought me to tears. It was like you were in the bathroom and I guess you were doing her hair and she got emotional because she didn't want to leave you. I don't know if it was like a co-parent drop-off situation, because I've experienced that too with my daughter early on, where, you know, she's just so used to being with me. And, you know, that exchange would sometimes be a bit traumatizing for her in ways, and traumatizing for me too. And her vocalizing like, I don't want to go, you know, and then, you know, him being like, well, you're coming. You know, and it's just like, oh my God, this is so fucking, I never thought we'd be here. But I just thought it was so beautiful how you were able to support her and how she was able to kind of affirm you as well too. I know she said, you're like, tell me what I can do, you know, better for you as your mother. And she said, you're already amazing. Yeah. And I was like literally, I'm going to get teary-eyed thinking about it right now. It was such a beautiful moment that like such a young little human is able to vocalize that. And I think there's a lot of children that can, but it's about asking those questions too as a mother and saying, how can I support you better? I don't I don't have it all figured out. Like, guide me in ways. And I think as parents and as mothers, sometimes we think that we have to have it all figured out. We don't want to ask our children those questions because at some point it somehow makes us feel, or maybe makes us feel like they're going to think we don't know what we're doing. Yeah. Because we don't.
Yeah, we don't. It's like, think about this. Like, for the moms that are listening to us, it's your first time.
Yeah, I always say I'm a 7-year-old mom. I'm an 8-year-old mom now. I'm an 8-year-old mom. I only know as much as I know.
And you're just learning as it goes. But one of the things that I honestly, to me, I love people. I love learning about people. I love talking to people. I love connecting.
Same.
This is why I love my job. There's nothing that I would see myself doing. I just love it. I am so passionate. I wake up every single day. Like, yay. Not when it's stressful. Sometimes it can get stressful, but I love what I do. And one of the things that I really, really did not want to end up doing, our parents didn't have the tools that we have right now. Millennials really killed it. We really did something. But they didn't have the tools to build emotional intelligence. So I'm telling all the moms out there, whether your child is 1 year old or 8, learn how they're developing in their minds. Developmentally, you have a frontal lobe that gets mature, right, at the age of 25. This is why children and young people, we past the 25, but they act so erratic, right? Because this is not fully developed. So in order to save yourself some frustration, why you're telling your kid 10,000 times to pick that up and they do it every day, right? And you're just repeating the cycle, learn how they're developing mentally. That way you're learning like, oh, I have to tell her 1,000 times because this part of the brain is not developed. Oh, she tells me that she's forgetting and now she forgot because of this. Oh, they're not able to understand time or this or that. Oh, so it saved me so much stress.
Not getting frustrated.
No, that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, good. And I just treat my daughter with, there's this industry versus inferiority. Oh, Jesus.
Inferiority.
There you go. Take it away. Industry versus inferiority. Okay.
You know it.
So, yeah, So, your children from age to 6, from 6 to 12, I believe, 6 to 12, they are they're forming their identity. And even you can see when your kid is doing something that they knew they were not supposed to do, they're looking at you for a reaction. All she gets from me is a neutral reaction. Just neutral. Even though I've lost it a couple of times, like, oh my God, right? But it's neutral. And Indira shares with me everything. Hopefully that extends up until she's an adult, because I'm going to teach her, in school, and we're going to teach you how to be book smart. Let me teach you how to be street smart. Yeah. How to deal with humans, how to understand other humans. Because you're going to have to interact with humans all day, with people that do not know who you are, have your upbringing, like different things that you do, have different morals and values, and just completely different. And you have to let people be who they are and not take things personal. Yeah. And be, she's a little Pisces, water baby.
Oh, she's sensitive.
Right? So
that's super important.
Highly emotional. And I feel like she has a superpower. She's probably going to be, I don't know, in the art, something for artistic and creative, or something about people. Something related to people and humans. But I highly suggest all the moms listening to me right now, please get yourself some books. There's plenty out there. Maybe we should create a list, right, for the readers.
Yeah, we should.
For your child's development, even when they're teenagers. I know that that's going to be, people call it like, oh my God, it's so hard. And oh my God, like the kids, I have to like drink my wine because the kids are acting up. You should meet Indy. Indy is just... And you do that through behavioral change.
Well, I think if you're investing, it's like twofold. Like you got to invest. We were talking earlier about investing in yourself and your mental health and your wealth and your mind and your body. And it's like you've also decided to bring this life earth side. You have to also invest in, you've chosen to be a parent, invest in understanding how you can also make them the best version of themselves so that they're not having to do all this rebuilding in their late 20s and 30s and going to therapy. I mean, granted, maybe therapy is good for even the most, well-adjusted child or person, but hopefully the goal is to make our children better than us, right? And to like really do the work to figure out what that is, to know that these are our souls coming through us that are not exactly like us, so we're not going to be able to parent them the ways that we thought we needed to be parented that we didn't get.
I mean, and even then, we're only parented as much. The only example of parenting is what we got, and then it takes for us to get old enough and mature enough to evaluate that parenting and say, "What did that really work for me? Were those the ways in which I thrived, or what did that hurt me in ways? Was that traumatic for me because I didn't receive this emotional patience or all these things that like I wish I could have had?" And it's like it's difficult because like we said, there's no guidebook, but also the only example is what you got. And then you'll find yourself in motherhood doing things that mimic your parents that you don't even agree with. And you have to catch yourself. And it's like mothering yourself as an adult in ways you maybe weren't mothered growing up is like one thing, and then also mothering an actual child at the same time is a hell of a job, but it's necessary in order to like mothering yourself in order to show up in a way that's supportive, in a way that's patient, in a way that is, when you're running a business and relationships and all these other things, that you still have the juice to give to your child to not be like, I'm done for the day. It's like, no, actually, this is the most important fucking job you have. And so the more tools you have, it gives you the opportunity to kind of like find new ways to parent and realize it doesn't have to look exactly like the way you were parented.
Well, and also the circumstances are different too. I mean, like you came from I think a 2-parent household, right? And the bond is strong, and now you're raising.
My parents were divorced.
Oh, weren't divorced, but you.
Yeah, 3 years old they divorced, but
you had
a.
But thinking like about you're a single parent, like you have your daughter, it's just you two in the house. Her needs might be different than the needs that you have, and sometimes you don't even know what. Because this is all you have to educate yourself. Like you do need to read a book. You do need to listen to a podcast. You do need to tap in with, and get different perspectives, because what works for you might not work for Indy, and like you might see it start to play out, like, and any mother might see it just play out like, oh, well, this really worked for me, but for some reason it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing here. How do I need to shift? How do I need to adjust? Like, 'cause even my daughter, she's a rule follower. I'm not. Really, like there's elements of me that are for sure, but there's things about her I'm like, are you my daughter? Like, what the fuck is this? And I have to honor that part of her and not try to force her to be like, well, this is easier for me. Yeah, it's easier for me if you just like get on board with this, and it's like, well, this is not her human design. I can't go against that, or I could, and then what the fuck's gonna happen there?
It's usually funny when I see like memes on Instagram about like when kids talk too much, especially around this age, and like the parents like, oh, right? But I actually have conversations with Indy, and she's super dope. She tells me about her day. I can find out even when she's insecure about certain things. I can find out anything through just her talking. And it's a vibe, just hearing her. And I did this at school and that and that and that. But in having these conversations with her, I know what she needs to be happy. After 3 p.m., my day is done. Like, that's it. My phone goes like this. I wake up really early. So these are the sacrifices. Like, I wake up 5:45. From 5 to 5:45. That's it. But then my day, I start the day early. But my day ends when I pick her up from school.
So you can be
all I think in the 3 years that she's been in school now, probably I have missed maybe 2 or 3 picking her up and dropping her off. And it's usually either my brother or like I don't have a nanny. I do all of it, right? My nanny is the school, right? And it's important to me. So these are sacrifices that I have to like, okay, I have to pivot. If I can be an absent mother, I can be a workaholic and be absent, because we know what that does. And I'm saying like, it's not what I'm going to be doing most of the time. I'm going to miss some dates. That's a given. Right. I am going to have to work late some days. But most of the time, she's going to remember a mom that went to pick her up, dropped her off. Whatever sacrifices I needed to make, I'll make them. I'll start waking up earlier. I'll put my phone down, and then that's it. There's some days that I have to tell her like, hey, mommy has to work, and it's going to go over, but we have a routine. We have built a routine. It's just like I've become pretty much a robot. But I can control those things because I have a sustainable approach to a schedule. And hopefully, should be on vacation soon.
You will be on vacation soon. I command it.
How are you going to fit dating into your schedule? Like, how does dating fit into, you know, this
well-oiled
oiled machine?
I co-parent. So 50% of the time, I have Indira, and 50% of the time, she goes with her dad.
Okay.
Right? We don't know if that's going to change, but managing dating, I like very busy people.
Because you're busy.
Exactly. So managing dating, I have enough. I have like a whole week to myself to do that.
Do you feel like it's something that you want to do right now, or do you still feel like a little traumatized and you're like, I'm cool, I don't need it? Are you feeling like I would like companionship? I wouldn't mind someone courting me, or are you just like, I'm still like knee deep in getting my life where I need it to be after this?
No, I got my life where I need it to be.
So you're open to companionship.
Yeah,
I'm
love. Open to the right type of companionship.
Yeah, not just anybody,
you know?
Yeah.
Because I do have a daughter, and anyone knows, like, my daughter comes first.
Yeah.
Comes first, then you know, like, I come first, then my daughter comes first, you know, and we're a duo. And then if you're okay with that, then great. So I've been open to dating people that do not want children.
Because you don't want any more.
Because it would, I'm open to people that have children and people that do not have children. I like more mature minds, exactly. So I don't see myself like jumping in and saying like, oh my God, it was true love, we're gonna get married and have, no, if that happens, great. I'm open to marriage. Traditional marriage, it can work, you know, but for the right person. The person that is going to let me be who I am.
Right.
Because I let you be who you are, let me be who I am, and we're something together. But there has to be a certain level of respect. And my daughter, like, again, my stepdad, I couldn't tell you, he's my dad. That's both of them raised me. My biological dad and my stepdad, and that's doable. I know something out there or someone out there exists that is going to blend this family idea that I have in my head. And if it doesn't happen, I'm great. There are perks of being single.
Oh, girl.
And there are perks in being, you know how dope it is to be able to be completely independent, that you don't need anything from anyone, and you just get to pick whatever it is that you want.
You don't have to worry. Yeah, there's no one's feelings, or you don't have to consider shit.
No, seriously.
You don't have to consider anything.
And that's very important.
Yeah. Well, thinking of that and just knowing who the fuck you are, I want to get to a part of our show where we have our guests share an affirmation. So do you have an affirmation that you can share?
I think I already said it.
Did you say it?
No. Change is overwhelming.
Change is overwhelming.
But it is inevitable if we want a different outcome.
Change is overwhelming, but it is inevitable if we want a different outcome.
That is a fact. I think
Change is going to be hard, but once you embrace it, that's it. Unlock it.
Shift happens.
You can't be scared. You can't be scared. You know yourself, what you need to do to get to the other side. Just get it done. Break it down.
I think it's like you can't, if change was easy, you always hear this. If change was easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a fact. It's really just that simple. It's really that simple. Are you going to live in misery? And even if you are scared, you have to kind of say, fuck the fear and just do it anyway. Because what would be worse is you waking up 5-10 years from now and you're still in the same fucking loop. And now you're like even doubting yourself even more. The fear is even built even more because you've got strayed so far away from that person.
And now this is like a big mountain and you're like, wait a second, how am I even going to climb this? But what I say is, usually, I don't know if it happens to you guys, that when you have a lot and you're like, wait a second, how am I going to accomplish this? Break it down. Life is not a race. It's a marathon. So in your head, you had to do this yesterday and you're thinking like, well, I want to start this and it's going to take me this. Why don't you start by starting?
Yeah.
Right? And you're breaking it down, right? Step by step. Once you accomplish one thing, it's less overwhelming, less scary, Because you already faced your fears. Like, you are afraid because you don't know the outcome. So stop. Obviously, you want to make decisions that are, obviously, you're not going to say, well, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket and just throw myself out of a cliff. No. You're making safe decisions. You know what you're capable of. So you're going to take risks based on what you believe you're capable of, which is, it's very important what you tell yourself every single day. I never wanted to make myself a victim. That I'm not going to go and speak about any, like, no, I am not a victim. If I say, well, and this happened to me and this person and that, you're going to start believing that. The body keeps a score. What you tell your thoughts physiologically change your body. So embrace it.
Oh, you got to.
Embrace it. Is it tarot time, my love?
I think it's tarot time. Massy pulled the Wheel of Fortune, which I don't know if we've pulled this recently or this year. And the Wheel of Fortune means good luck, karma, life cycles, destiny, and a turning point. The Wheel of Fortune reminds you that the wheel is always turning and life is in a state of constant change.
Look at that.
If you're going through a difficult time, rest assured that it will get better from here. Good luck and good fortune will make their return in time. Similarly, if things are going well, know this too will change and life might return to normal soon. This cycle shows why it is so important to cherish the blissful moments in your life and make the most of them while they are within reach, because in a flash they could be gone. The Wheel of Fortune is also known as the Wheel of Karma and reminds you that what goes around comes around. Be a kind and loving person to others, and they'll be kind and loving to you. Be nasty and mean, and you will get nasty and mean turning back your way. So if you want happiness and abundance, make sure you're sending out the positive juju and kind. What you send out in the universe will come back your way. The Wheel of Fortune card asks you to be optimistic and have faith that the universe will take care of your situation in the best way possible. Meditation and visualization can reinforce your intention to bring increased abundance, good fortune, and prosperity to you. Your life is about to turn in more positive directions if you are willing to grow and expand. Keep your mind open to all kinds of synchronicities and signs from the universe. The magic of fate and destiny is behind you, and miracles are happening.
You know what? I think we need to start pulling the card on camera because people are going to think that we just like pull this card and just make the shit up.
I was thinking that too because it always goes with the episode.
Always.
There's
Really?
literally every time. Every time.
You know, I believe in like energy, and
Me too.
I believe like nothing is. You said it. Like, look at the little things that the universe is throwing at you all the time. Like,
literally, like, no matter what you believe, no matter what religion or non-religion or whatever higher power, or you don't believe in it at all, like, it's again, like, when you start choosing yourself, the synchronicities and like the signs will be so clear. And like, that's happened a lot in our relationship. Like when we chose this thing that we chose that we didn't know we were choosing, it was just like very clear that even if it was scary, we should keep going. Even if people were like, that's crazy, we should keep going. And I think people underestimate the signs, you know, and sometimes it's a stranger like telling you something on the street. Sometimes you're watching TV and it like just affirms something you just told your best friend, or you thought you had a thought and then someone says like, yo, I was thinking about this, and it's an alignment. But usually like spirit will send you signs and opportunities and you'll be like, oh shit, thanks, you know, like, and it's so true. And even if you're in a position right now where you're struggling to choose yourself or struggling to choose your happiness, like, and you're listening to this is no coincidence, you know, or you're watching this, like, if you're hearing this message at a time in your life where you actually absolutely needed this message, it's not by coincidence that you came and chose this episode and heard this story and this testament. And, you know, don't underestimate the signs that God or spirit gives to you, because a lot of times it's just the sway in which sometimes you need a little kick in the ass and, you know, a little like, you know, a little affirmation that this is the direction you're supposed to go in and this is how you're supposed to choose yourself. And I'm a sign taking bitch. I'm like, oh my God, did you hear that? Something broke. It's true. Whatever we're talking about it resonates, you know, like, oh, it's 11:11. Like at this very moment, we're talking about this very important thing or this idea or, you know, this, whatever the fuck it is. You know, you see an animal emerge. What's a grasshopper mean? This is me, you know, and some people think that's crazy. And for some people it is, but you'd be surprised that when you ask spirit, give me a sign, that shit will show up if you're paying attention. And even if you're in a relationship that feels like maybe it's not where you're supposed to be, literally that prayer is like, God, if this is not for me, make it so bad that I can't deny it. Show me. You know, like when you say that prayer, literally within days, you will be shown. And I'm not fucking kidding. It's like the most powerful prayer. Like if this no longer serves me, God, show me that it no longer serves me in a way that I can't deny it. That last part is really the part you need. In a way that I can't deny it, because bitches will be in denial for some dick and some love and some fairy tale that may not be your fairy tale. And you might be actually missing out on the fairy tale that you actually deserve because you're so busy trying to make some shit work that doesn't. So, you know, people always ask, how do you honor your intuition? How do you honor yourself? And like, sometimes it just takes a little prayer. Because if you're feeling indifferent, you know, there's already a plant seeded that says, maybe this ain't it. So if you just need that one little extra that will do it.
And there's a level of consciousness also that you're acquiring by saying, okay, let's say if I'm unhappy and I want to be in an environment where I feel supported, start surrounding yourself with the energy that is going to be supportive. So you're going to start to walk in those thoughts. You're not going to steer towards the energy that makes you feel X, Y, and Z. You're going to go the other way.
And sometimes that energy, which can be confusing for people, is sometimes this energy of not being supported is from people you've known the longest. Yes. And you have to start to recognize even that, like, damn, you're my best friend I've known for my whole life, but this doesn't really feel supportive. This doesn't feel good to me anymore. You don't really love and accept me for all that I am. It's difficult for you to do that. But maybe this person I just met this week is all for it, you know? And like, you will start to feel, when you start to be like, read the energy and how people, like when you leave people, how you actually feel, if you feel energized, if you feel like motivated, or if you feel like, damn, depleted or down about yourself or questioning who you are or what you're doing.
That's enough for you to know that energy doesn't resonate.
Period. And sometimes it's motherfuckers you know in your whole life. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's your lover. But start paying attention to how you feel, you know, when you leave, you know, a conversation or the presence of someone, and taking note and just gravitating towards what makes you feel good. And sometimes it's just you until you find that friend.
Or sometimes you don't even know that you're the problem. And you have to analyze yourself. Sometimes you can be in your own thoughts and have this construct in your mind that, no, this is right. And you may be the one who's at wrong.
You may be wrong.
No, like, and that's the saddest thing to go through. Like, the truth is going to set you free, but it's going to either make you really sad or piss you off to begin with.
You're like, damn, maybe I'm judging myself because I'm judging everybody else, and that's why I can't get from point A to point B. And, you know, and sometimes it requires that you reflect and really examine, like, am I the fucking problem? Am I the toxic person? Am I holding myself back with these, you know, limiting beliefs about myself? Am I beating myself up all the time? It's like, it really requires for you to like be silent and go within and kind of reflect on your thoughts and the things that you tell yourself. And once you start to do that, it kind of becomes, your voice gets louder and you start to realize, like, why are you talking about yourself that way? Why are these the negative thoughts that you're having? And you kind of have to beat yourself back up, like, bitch, I'm the shit, even if you're talking to yourself. Yeah. You know, and like, you're powerful and you're worthy and you're worth it. And like, you got to really, really, really practice conditioning yourself to love yourself.
And living authentically yourself, knowing that you are a human that is perfectly imperfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to hurt people, but you can change that, right? If you hurt someone, you can change that, right? If someone hurts you, you can learn from that. And you can change that other person too by how you come across. Like, to me, I know I'm not a perfect human. Like, no one, it's going to ever look at me. It may look like what I do, oh, she's perfect at what she does. But at the end of the day, I've hurt people. I've disappointed people. I've disappointed myself. I'm a human. I'm doing things for the first time. And if I'm failing, I'm not going to beat myself up. I know that I am going to continue to try because it's for the first time.
Just like you would do your daughter. You know, you don't beat them up when they fail or when they don't get first place or whatever. You're constantly gently teaching them to be better with themselves. And sometimes the same way you would love on your child or your niece or your nephew, you have to apply that same level of gentleness and care to yourself. It's like, it's okay, girl. Like, we fuck up. It's okay you made that mistake. It's okay you did this thing. Now we're learning from it. And what's next?
Now, if it's a behavior that continues without any learning, that's a different, path. But I believe, we should give people the same benefit of the doubt that we would like. I always say I like to treat others the way that I would like to treat myself. And even though I sometimes fail, right? Because I'm human, I am often checking myself. Okay, checking myself. How am I doing as a mom? That's why I asked Indy, how do you think I'm doing? On that video. What do you think I'm doing? Am I doing a good job? Am I doing, hey, or to my mom, like, hey, how do you think I'm doing as a friend or as a daughter, right? The biggest awakenings for me have been coming from family that has taught me, like, hey, something is wrong. What's going on? And I think you're doing X, Y, Z, and that's not cool. And I've had to check myself. Because at the end of the day, I have to be kind, more kind. Sometimes, I remember a year after just going through divorce and whatnot, I was mad. I would not let anyone in. And it wasn't up until someone that I work with that where guys were commenting on the video that I was working out with. That person told me, you know how many guys come up to me, Massy, like they want to take you out. They want to, oh my God, it's like left and right. When you leave, it's just, but they would never, because you look unapproachable. And mind you, I had to tell him, but I want to be unapproachable. This is at that time, and I, now my energy is it's lighter. It's more receptive. Now things just change because I've processed all those things.
Well, you're aware. You're like, I
couldn't get into any relationship without it not being healthy.
Right.
It was going to come with some level of distrust or some level, part of me that was not going to let that relationship be healed. Therefore, if you're going through a breakup, allow yourself the time to heal. That way, the next relationship that you're in, you're not bouncing and bringing in all of those traits that you have to heal or all the things that you have to heal. Yeah. And that's what I find, that people just date and continue to date around and they're all bringing each other's dramas and not traumas and not really processing. So you can tell when someone is completely, or I need at least not at 100% healed, but when they're ready. It's a different kind of energy. Right? Because what I want now is just, I want no drama. I just want peace, quiet, happiness. Not that it's always going to be looking that way at every point, but I know exactly what I want. Like, I want no drama.
And you want to be able to exist just as you fucking are, because this is who you are, and to be loved for who you are, as we all do. And I think that's the thing, is like, we're so busy trying to put ourselves in a box of acceptance. And the true acceptance comes when you're not trying to box yourself in and you're just existing boldly, because those people will come and be like, I like that. I want that. But when you start to like, if I conform and I do this and I do this to be likable, then you get all these people that are not really liking you for you. And speaking of people, do you have any hories?
What's a hoary?
Like a hotel. Even if like it's not recent, just like you did something rather whorish on the hoe scale.
On the hoe scale?
Yeah.
Dang, no.
She's like, I've been in a relationship. No hotels with their past partner?
No. Oh, hotels with my past partner. You know, the crazy thing is that when you really get to know me, I'm a one-person kind of person that I'm going to be doing all the hoeing around with. And all the experiences with. But when it comes to, I don't know, I just can't do it.
But what
I
you
don't know you for I just can't.
No. It can be like people share hotels with their husbands, like things that they've done with their partners. It doesn't mean like like
it doesn't have to be a random.
You're being promiscuous.
It doesn't have to be a rando.
Well, I can't really speak on my last relationship that was the longest.
Well, there was no sexy moments.
I mean, there were sexy moments, but I can't really speak on.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way anymore.
If you don't have one, I have one.
Oh wait, I have one too from Miami. I just remembered.
Oh, okay. I was going to share one from our audience.
Okay, you could share that one.
No, if you want to go and do it, go ahead. I can share too.
Okay. So I went to Miami. This is not that long, so don't worry. And there's a Mile High Club where you have sex on an airplane, which I don't even know how anyone has sex in that little ass air. Yeah, Mile High Club, that little ass bathroom. It doesn't seem sanitary, but maybe if you're riding private, but I haven't gotten there yet. But anyway, we went on a yacht this weekend, and I was like, oh yeah, we need to. I don't know what it's called for the boat, but we're going to join that club.
The underwater.
No, I named it the Rock the Boat Club.
Oh, okay.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, our friend also joined the Rock the Boat Club. We made a truce, and she was like, under the cabin at the yacht, there's little rooms. They're little, but they're cute, A little round bed, and I was like, we all got in there, and there was 4 of us there, and I was like, listen, do you want to use the room at 2:30? We're gonna come in at 3. And she missed her appointment, but I did not. And so we went in there, and Orlando made a very good suggestion. We need to usually the boat like docks somewhere. He's like, no, we need to go in there when it's moving. And I was like, yeah. So we went down to the bottom when the boat started moving, and there was like a little mirror on the the headboard, and like there's a little small window, but there's just waves, and then you start like rocking, and then he was like giving me some head, and I was like, oh yeah, like it's like it was like a water bed, but real life. And then we were having sex, and then I could see myself in the mirror, and I was like looking at, because there's also a window at the top. I could see the sky, and then I was looking at the other window, and I could see the water waves, and I was like, oh, I'm a fucking mermaid. It was really hot, and I was like, probably no one can even hear us because it's
I didn't
loud.
hear shit. I heard nothing.
Anyway, if you're ever on a yacht with a small room on the bottom and it's moving, I highly recommend joining the Rock the Boat Club with me in Orlando, because we did it and it was great.
Wow. This is a luxury hotel.
This is a luxury hotel. If you ever get on a yacht, go down to the bottom deck. It was very nice.
I have another Hori, but I think I want to save it for Patreon because it's pretty fucking juicy.
Is it? Okay.
It's a little nasty. Okay. It involves poop.
Oh God!
Now you have to say it. Now I'm all in. Now I'm interested.
It involves poop and ecstasy.
Poop and ecstasy. Okay.
Okay, so if you want to hear this Hori, make sure you're not gonna hear it right now. You have to actually go join Patreon. Click the link in this episode description to hear this week's Hori about poop and ecstasy.
I'm joining.
Patreon.com/goodmomsbadchoices. Okay, here we go. My boyfriend and I went on. Wait, is this the one? Yes. Okay. Probably a few months after the pee incident, because she also shared another Hori. We'll have to save that for another time. There was another incident of a similar caliber. Before I tell this one, I just want to mention that my boyfriend is about 6 years older and at that time had a 4-year-old son from a previous marriage. I feel this is a relevant detail to the story. Well, because he was a dad and was in his mid-30s, so he possessed a distinct level of maturity dealing with this situation. Okay, here it goes. My boyfriend and I went out on a date. Had a great night, came home after drinking, and decided to roll. I was new to ecstasy. This was probably only my second time taking it. The first time I ever took it was also with him. Anyways, we rolled, had a lot of sex, including anal sex, and I fell asleep. Side note, anal is also something that I was very new to. I only did it with him because he seemed really into it, but I didn't care for it, and it always hurt like a bitch. Plus, my boyfriend is 6'2", 180 pounds, and well endowed. I'm very small woman, 5'3", 102 pounds, with a very small butt and very small anus, I suppose. I just want to know how she compared this. Like, let me see your butt. Like, can you spread your cheeks? Because I think mine's extra small.
And why is it always the little ones that get this huge guys?
Because little ones like big dicks.
Or okay. I think big guys like little. They can throw them around and stuff.
True,
you know, that's my reasoning. I don't know. I remember waking up very early in the morning with a sore butt and having to poop. I groggily got up with my eyes closed, went to poop, and got back in bed. I wake up a few hours later and I notice the bedroom reeks. I sit up in my bed, pull the covers back to get out, and see brown smears all over my legs and feet.
Wait.
All over her legs and feet.
How'd it get on your feet?
She was kicking around, rolling around in that bed. My boyfriend also wakes up and pulls the rest of the covers down to see brown smears on his feet.
Oh, God.
I grab a random towel lying on the floor to clean up when I realize I'm sitting right next to a huge turd.
What?
It is sitting between us, towards the end of the bed and closer to my side of the bed. The sheets were covered in poop. Clearly, I pooped in the bed. No shit, bitch. Not in the toilet. Oh, shit. She didn't actually get up to go to the bathroom.
She imagined that she was going to the bathroom.
Oh, no.
I didn't read the whole story. Wow. Okay, clearly I had pooped in the bed, not in the toilet, and rolled all over the poop all night. My boyfriend obviously had rolled in it too.
So you didn't even get off the bed? You just thought you were at the bathroom?
I have never been more mortified in my entire life. We silently stared at each other for a minute, and then my boyfriend just picked me up, kissed me sweetly, and got into the shower with me. He asked how my butt felt, knowing it was sore from anal. He cleaned us both up, discarded the poop, put the sheets in the laundry, and cuddled me on the couch for the rest of the day while we watched movies. He never made fun of me. He never seemed disgusted, and only mentioned it maybe once or twice afterwards. Wow.
That's the thing with anal, guys. You gotta be...
Wait. To this day, we are still together. We are engaged, better be. We have a 3-year-old son, and I'm currently 8 months pregnant with our baby girl.
Aww.
It was the anal. There you go.
Listen, in my book...
That's why it worked.
Erica says this
in the
all
book,
the time.
I always say I got pregnant because of anal sex, and it's not what you think. Not through the butt, but whatever. You have to read the book.
Not through the butt, but it unlocks something
But
in
it
the
unlocked
vagina.
something, and boom, Irie was born. Sorry, babe. I hope you don't listen to this episode one day. And I'm currently 8 months pregnant with our baby girl. And the restaurant from our first Tory, the one with the bottomless mimosas.
How many? That kind of sounds familiar.
That's where he proposed to me. So I guess there's a silver lining to these Tories. LOL, I'm curious what your rating on these stories would be. Also, I included a special picture of us for your viewing pleasure.
Oh my God, I love that. I love a
that?
picture. Is it her butthole?
Oh my God.
You know what? I just want to say for the record, I love our tribe so fucking hard. Literally, it feels like we're like really besties because only our people would be like, let me show you a picture of us, and it'd be this. Is it her butt?
Wow.
That's her vagina.
Can I see again? All right.
Let me see
that is her vagina.
Let me see one more time. Okay. That is a little butthole. He's well
I don't know
endowed.
if that man is well endowed. But
I mean,
It looks like it's partly in him.
it's it's only a little piece. I just love the openness and the transparency we have here, and I just want to say for the record that it's true. Hoe shit brings the hoes together, and sometimes that hoe is your husband, and that's how you find like who has acceptance over the hoe shit. And I highly recommend two hoes finding each other, because if you find someone who's square, then you're gonna be just lusting after hoe shit your whole life.
Wait, why is the last part? Oh, okay, Eric, I have a burning question I need to ask. Did your friend ever get an email back from the wife of the guy who catfished you and lied about his son living in London? I've been listening, trying to find an update. What's the wife's Instagram handle? Can I send her your podcast episode where you put him on blast? Lord.
I'm sure somebody already did, and we don't know. We never, I think we blocked.
The episode is called I'm Dating a Married Man.
But we never heard. They had another baby.
They did. They had another baby.
She was pregnant. That's what happened when we looked last a couple of years ago. She was having another baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a good choice, but yeah. Wow, that was a good one. And if you want to know what we rate your hories, there are 10 because we keep reading them. You're doing a good job, girl.
Girl, wow.
And we rarely get like level 10 good ones, and you seem to keep bringing the heat.
And if you have any hories, please make sure to either email them to where? Parental advisory, GMBC@gmail.com, or you can actually leave us a voice message. You can leave us a voicemail and confess, and we'll anonymously play your hoary on the show or share it on Patreon. The number is
818-213-1287. Yep, that's it.
But we'll leave all that in the episode description. Massy, thank you so much for joining us. I hope we didn't scare you with that last little bit.
No, I mean, I just can't tell you mine.
When we turn off this
PG-13 brand.
When we turn off this mic, I'm getting all the juice. So you know what I thought you were gonna say? I thought you were gonna say, you know, I'm all this and that, but I'm a freak. And I was like, I can see that. Something tells me, Massy, when like the doors close.
Listen, there's fire in this chart for a reason. And Scorpio and Venus, bitch, please.
Gemini too. Those little freaks. I'm half Gemini, so. Tell our audience where they can find you.
I am everywhere. I'm like air. No.
Okay. Glorilla.
You Glorilla. Just like the air.
I'm everywhere, to be honest. But on Instagram, Massy, MASSY, ARIAS, and masvida.io.
And we'll link everything in this episode description. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. You guys, make sure you go and rate and review this episode on Apple Podcasts. If you haven't, if you've been listening for years and you haven't left a review, please go do that. Also, if you're listening watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, join the Good Vibe Retreat.
Okay, but we have another.
Oh, that's right.
We have another retreat coming up in Costa Rica for New Year's Eve. It's December 28th to January 2nd. And we're going for New Year's Eve, bitches. So pack your bags, get a babysitter, come heal, come have fun, come frolic topless, come eat good food, come be in the Caribbean and dance on the beach on New Year's Eve. And, meet your tribe, because it's strong out here, and we really have cultivated a really amazing group of women who have just good stories and just open hearts and are looking also for friendships and tribes. So if you haven't gone to Good Vibe Retreat yet and you've been waiting, here's your chance. You can make payments. Just put a $500 deposit. If we make it easy, just get your flight, put your deposit, make payments, and pull up. This is the one vacation you don't have to worry about shit. We've done everything for you. All the activities, the place we stay is beautiful, the food is bomb. You literally don't have to think about shit. So come, let us nurture
Take care of you.
Let the good moms nurture you, and that's it.
All right, guys, we will see you next week. Love you. Bye.